This is Sandra. Great morning, great rising, people. Today I'm going to do a video about the benefits of darkness. A lot of folks are afraid of the darkness, and I was one of those folks until I got a revelation about the benefits of darkness and the powers contained in darkness. In fact, darkness was here before the light, and we were created in dark places, in our mama's wombs, and we were on average there for 9 months and well taken care of in the process. So don't be afraid of the dark. Learn to work with it, because it does empower. And I want to say some things about meditation. A lot of folks claim they don't have time to do meditation. And a lot of folks don't realize that the benefits in meditation are priceless. Meditation enables us to become calmer, less inclined to be angry, less inclined to allow distractions to divert us from our journeys, less inclined to be down and depressed. And even medical doctors have attested to the benefits of meditation spiritually, mentally, and physically. But don't take my word for it, or anyone's word for anything for that matter, without doing your own examinations, investigations, and research. Because there are a lot of gullible folks out here who are following people, and they're not going beyond the viewpoints of others into their own zones of comprehending through research and measures such as that. So, I am a witness in my personal journey that meditation can change us. It can alter our dispositions and our bodily functions, our spiritual postures, and our mental capabilities. Yes, I've been doing it for more than a couple of years, and a lot of Christians believe in meditating using what they call the Word of God, the Bible. I was one of those Christians as well. And a lot of Christians are camped out in the confines of Bible content and biblically related texts. And they don't go far beyond those places, those resources for enlightenment, empowerment, and revelation knowledge. The Bible has its place. I'm not against the Bible. I don't read it like I used to. I rarely read it as a matter of fact. But I do know that it contains some truths. But I do not believe that it contains entire truths. And I do not depend on it, nor do I worship it, as some folks do. And I was once a Bible worshiper. That is not sensible, and it stunts growth, as a matter of fact. Way back ages ago, our ancestors did not have a Bible or any other printed resources. And they did just fine, and in fact, some of them did great without having such to rely on, so to speak. They used the inner consciousness. We all have an inner consciousness. They were able to live well, love, care, share, work, play, understand, comprehend, and they commune considerably with nature, with the sun and the moon and the stars and astronomy, and they learned how to plant, to harvest, to sow, and to reap, and they had nothing to read, people, except what was being given to them through their own intuition. Animals have intuition. We have much more than they do, but yet we depend on, well, I shouldn't say we. I used to be one of the we. Some people depend on what's in the Word of God. They say to live right. You don't need a Bible to live right. You don't need a resource to live right. You need to tune into the source. There's one source. I don't understand the fullness of the source. Some people call the source God. Some call the source Allah. Some Krishna. And some say the universe. I don't understand all of that. It gets complex. I do believe that there is a highest power, a most high, a source, and that all else is resource, including the Bible. So, keeping things in perspective, people, depend on what you get from your inner wishing. Now, back to meditation. I typically meditate during the dark outside hours and also when it's light outside. I've been meditating maybe a couple of years, and like I said, it does in fact alter our landscape, our spiritual landscape, beyond what we have encountered without it. It does a lot to add to us. It doesn't subtract, that's for sure. But of course, keep it in perspective. You don't want to be spending hours and hours in meditation. I typically do daily meditation, a half an hour. You like to say in the dark, outside hours, and half an hour in the light, outside hours. And the reason that I was recently in that particular place is because it came to me in my intuition during my meditation hours that we all possess light and dark sides. So doing my meditation in that kind of split situation with the dark and light corresponds with how we are composed inwardly, dark and light. The issue with some of us is that we find it quite challenging to balance out our light and dark sides. We tend to do excess in the light areas and excess in the dark areas and not come into a place of balancing those two. So that's something we need to focus on doing, balancing those two sides of us, because too much of anything is not healthy for us in any form or fashion. So I wanted to share that, and also from the standpoint of magic. Magic is a science. Magic is an art, and it is not demonic. Anything that we do, it depends on what we do with what we in fact manifest. Imagination comes from the word imagine. We can imagine and create. There are folks who are creating manifestations that don't bode well for the health of the universe, and they'll have to deal with the consequences as a result. But just like the internet, it can be used for good and pure purposes, or it can be used for purposes that are not so good for humankind. So it's the matter of what the practitioners doing, what the practitioners are doing with the magical exercises. I aim to use magic for pure thoughts, pure motives, pure expressions, and pure actions. And that aligns with the balance of the universal and natural laws. Because when we don't align with the universal and natural laws, there are consequences that are not pleasant. So if you want to stay on the pleasant side of the universe, do things for pure standpoints. So, and then as from the standpoint of time, folks, they don't have time to meditate. Well, they have time to do 3 hours of NFL football, hours of NBA viewing. So it's a matter of time management. We all have the same amount of hours in every day. It's a matter of how we manage the time that we are gifted with by the universe. So it's vital to prioritize, and what is most important in our lives should be at the top of our list of priorities. And meditation, I recommend highly because, as I indicated, it does alter us. It does help us to be calmer. It does help us to be more intuitive, among the other many benefits. And when I meditate, I use crystals. Crystals, a lot of Christians are against those as well, but they wear diamond rings and rubies and emeralds, and those are crystals. Crystals have personalities. Crystals have energy. Crystals help us to be empowered. And fire from the candles that we use in meditation has energy, and it helps to empower us and enlighten us. So we don't get caught up in relying on the tools because they are resources. The source of all magic comes from our minds. So more than anything, magic is mental. Thoughts are energy. Thoughts turn into manifestations. Thoughts start within us. And so we use the tools as accessories, but not to worship. We work with the tools, but do not depend on the tools, because there are even moments when we don't have our tools handy, and we can use what we have mentally. And we can use our hands. Our hands have healing in them depending on how we opt to use them. So I thank y'all for listening, and I just want to say this magic movement is not going to decline. It is picking up speed, and it is enhancing more lives, and true freedom is found in the divination arts, in astrology, in the tarot cards, and a lot of people feel like they're demonic as well. But they don't know, some folks, that the tarot cards are forerunners to the playing cards that are commonly used today in society. People, this magical movement is, again, picking up speed. It ain't going nowhere. And Christianity, as a matter of fact, is waning, as other religions, as people are becoming more aware of the fact that those religions limit. They do not provide full freedom and fearlessness. And there are dimensions in our realms here on earth that are beyond comprehension, that provide realms of fearlessness and freedom. This ain't no corner store movement. Thank you for listening. Bye now.